The next morning, Link left behind his troubles from the day before. His identity, his history, his mistakes. After all, he had successfully awakened the second sage, so now it was on to the third one. When he reached Goron City, the cavernous settlement seemed very empty. Link called out, but his calls echoed back. It was then, however, that another sound echoed about. A tumbling, crashing sound that sounded familiar. He ran up to the edge of the large pit that comprised the Goron dwelling. A lone Goron was rolling around one of the inner levels below, past the doors to some of the Gorons' individual inner cave habitats. Link ventured down to the level above where the Goron was rolling, calling out to the Goron, but the Goron wouldn't stop, tumbling and rolling around and around the rim. Link wasn't proud of what he did next, but all Gorons do have an outer skin made of a thick layer of rock. He cocked an arrow and aimed a little ahead of the rolling Goron. The arrow clanked off the Goron's rocky back, causing a Goronic moan as the rocky creature unfurled its body. "How could you do this to me?" he lamented, in perfect Hylian. You're Ganondorf's servant! Hear my name and tremble, for I am Link of the Gorons!" "Link? His name is also Link," Navi alerted to him. With curiosity, he showed himself to Link the Goron, putting his bow away and slowly putting his hands up. Mr. Link," Link addressed. "I, too, am named Link. My apologies for the arrow, but I can assure you I would never serve such a vile and wicked man," he said in earnest. "What? A Hylian also named Link?" Link nodded, still showing his palms above his shoulders, enduring a pause by the apprehensive and angry Goron. "Then you must also be the legendary Dodongo Slayer and hero, Link!" Link the Goron giddily giggled in starstruck awe as he proceeded to climb up to where Link stood. My dad is Darunia. Do you remember him?" It all made sense now. Link was flattered. "He named you after me?" "Mm-hmm," he answered with pride, pointing to the mural of the Dodongo that overlooked the cavern. There was now a figure in fresher green paint, a blond boy in a cap and tunic pointing a small silver object at the ancient painting of King Dodongo. Link felt a wave of sudden self-esteem that grew into pride. He was especially flattered that he had been added to the wall. "Dad named me after you, because you're so brave. You're a hero to us Gorons. I'm so glad to meet you. Please give me your autograph. Sign it to my friend, Link of the Gorons." They chuckled, but a moment of such joy did not last, as the young Goron's smile disappeared off his rocky face. "I guess this isn't a good time to ask you for that." "Why is that?" Link inquired with concern. Link the Goron pointed up to the mural, but further up. Way up on the ceiling, there was a red dragon painted onto the rock, its long snake-like body slithering around the stalactites. "The ancient dragon Volvagia has been resurrected. He has everyone in his lair in the fire temple. Dad bravely went to try and save everyone, but..." he choked up. "I'm afraid they're all going to get eaten, including Dad." "Wait, slow down," Link said, gesturing his hands for Link the Goron to calm down. "A dragon?" "A long time ago, there was an evil dragon named Volvagia living in this mountain. A very scary dragon he was. He ate Gorons." He rattled it off with such poise, it had to have been a Goron bedtime story. "Using a huge hammer, the hero of the Gorons, boom, destroyed him just like that. This is a myth from a long time ago, the Legend of Volvagia. But it's true! I know because my dad is a descendant of the hero." So he heard the story from his dear father Darunia, who must have heard it from his father, who heard it from his father, and so on, all the way to the hero with the hammer. Link was impressed by such a lineage. "Ganondorf, the man with the gall to starve my dad and his people all those years ago, has now revived Volvagia, and as a warning to those who might oppose him, Ganondorf is going to feed us all to Volvagia." "Did he come here to capture everyone?" "I was able to hide in my dad's room. He would always let me hide there when I was a small Goron," he said fondly, before turning back to grimness. "I heard the whole exchange. Dad was spared because Ganondorf gave him a choice." Link remembered Darunia recounting the vile choice Ganondorf cooked up for Darunia way back when. "Either see our people devoured by the wicked Volvagia, or betray his sworn brotherhood with the king, and help him seize better control over the Death Mountain region. The nerve!"
Dad said nothing. When Ganondorf left, he went to the fire temple all by himself to try to save everyone. Please help. Oh, Link the Dodongo Slayer. The last time this happened, you made all the Goron's troubles go away. We need you again.
He looked straight at Link with his beady black eyes, like a kitten begging for milk. Okay, Link. The fire temple was his next stop anyway. Clearly this abomination was the evil preventing the sage on the mountain from being awoken. Link wallowed in the thought that he had a good idea of who the sage might be. I'll help. Darunia is my sworn brother. Darunia's son happily grunted and led Link down to his father's chamber. It had not changed at all since he was last there, when he formed an alliance with him. Link the Goron led him to a fairly ornate chair made of carved stone, almost like a throne, and dragged the heavy seat to the side. Behind it was a passage in the rock that led down to a dark tunnel from which Link felt a blast of sudden heat.
This is where I hid. It's a secret shortcut to the fire temple. It sits inside Death Mountain Crater.
You mean the volcanic crater?
That's right, in the heart of Death Mountain. It's an ancient monument treasured by us Gorons. You should find everyone in there somewhere, being held prisoner.
So, Link bid farewell to his new ally of the same name, and made his way down the passage. The air grew hotter and drier as he went along. When he reached the end, the passage opened up to an enormous space enclosed by tall brown rocky walls, glowing with red light from far below. The sky above was gray, with pale clouds forming the odd ring that surrounded the crater's rim. The air was distorted and blurry, forming visible waves quickly rising up the grand shaft, illustrating just how hot it was. "Link, it's so hot in here," Navi said, commenting on the heat. "Be careful not to overexert yourself." Link took notice of Navi's caution, wiped his brow of the sweat it had already formed, and started to walk around the rim that was present, a walkway that spiraled down further into the volcano. Like a ramp, it led him to a central platform, still high above the red glow of magma below. Flanking it were two taller pillars, identical domical rocks that towered over him, up from the magma lake as well. These twin rocks let out spouts of steam out of small vents at their pinnacles. When Link reached the center platform, he noticed a familiar adornment on the ground. A slab lay atop the rocky platform, engraved with a symbol of a stylistic flame. Through the heat-distorted air, Link thought he saw something high up on one of the steam vents. He strained his eyes to try to see the figure clearer, but before he could identify what it was, it leaped towards him, elegantly flipping down onto the central platform, landing in a graceful squat to cushion the impact. "Did you follow me the whole way here?" Link insecurely asked. "No, I met you here," Sheik replied. "There is a difference." Sheik walked towards him. "You've been through a lot these past couple of days. You know now you're a Hylian." "How did you know?" Link asked, still insecure. "You're not exactly the Kokiri boy Zelda told me about," Sheik replied, a little bit snarky. "I mean, how did you know I found out I'm Hylian?" Link was beginning to feel like Sheik was constantly watching him. Sheik could have been smiling, but that veil of his would have concealed it. "I do my research. Besides, I can see it in your face." Sheik began to walk around Link. "You're upset, angry, at the fact that you're Hylian. The fact that you grew up an orphan among the children of the forest, making your whole identity a lie." Link was taken aback that Sheik said such a thing to him. "A lie fed to you by the great Deku Tree, your beloved guardian who was your only parental figure, who didn't even upkeep the lie by not awarding you a fairy like the others, not until it was necessary for his ends, when he sent you to do his bidding against the man who poisoned him." Now Link was offended. How dare he speak of the late Deku Tree like that? A fetch quest that only led to that man gaining more power, the effects of which you couldn't even see unfold because you were sheltered from it, sealed away while 7 years of your life were erased, and the rest of your childhood was robbed from you. Furious, Link motioned to attack Sheik, but he didn't draw his sword, he just wailed, not thinking it through. With no effort, Sheik disabled Link with a defensive maneuver, taking him to the hard surface of the slab. "Save your energy, Link. It's hot in here," Sheik warned him. Link was still bitter. "But passion burns like fire. But so does your anger. You must turn that anger to passion, so you can move forward. And the only way to do that," Sheik offered Link a hand to help him up. is to face your demons head on. Sheik nailed Link's feelings on the head. His whole life had had something wrong with it, and it seemed like it was spiraling out of control. But Sheik was right. The sooner he accepted it, the sooner he could move on, and focus on the task at hand. To right the wrongs of Ganondorf, which Link was partially responsible for. This place once paid homage to Din, the goddess of earth and power, whom the Gorons worshipped as a fire deity. Then Volvagia came along, and the Gorons enshrined the legendary Goron hero who defeated him as their sworn big brother. Darunia is his descendant, isn't he? Said Link. That's right, and right now, he needs your help. Where is the temple? I am ready now. You're standing on it, said Sheik. Link looked down at the central platform they were standing on. We're standing above the main entrance, which is just behind you. These two tall rocks house the two towers that make up the rest of the temple. Their nickname during the war was Spectacle Rock, like a pair of spectacles. During the war, Link was grimly reminded of the Hyrulean Civil War, the war that apparently ravaged his family apart. Darunia won't tell you about it, but much like the Forest Temple, the Fire Temple was repurposed during the war. To what? Link cautiously asked. A prison, Sheik responded. Where do you think the Gorons are being held? With that, he performed the signature Sheikah flashbang trick, and was gone. Link turned around, spotting a ladder in a deep pit that led him a long way down to the entrance.